All right, out of training factors cheat sheet. So we're all very caught up in what we do in our training. Like, should I be training with more frequency, less intensity, more volume, RPE, periodization, mesocycles, blah, 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 optimizing training. And that's great. Training is half of the pie. The significantly more complicated half of the pie is your out of training factors, your sleep, your nutrition, your supplementation, all these different variables that are really easy to fuck up compared to training. Training is relatively simple. If you're not retarded, you can get some decent training. And you might have perfected training, but you haven't got perfected out of training factors. And thus, maybe you're getting good results. Maybe you're adding a kilo to your bench press a month. But if you were to optimize all these out of training factors, you'd be all of a sudden getting 2 kilos to your bench press a month. So this video is basically a cheat sheet of sorts. Get your pen and paper out. I'm going to give you exactly what you need to consider, the most bang for your buck aspects of out of training factors. No noise, no nonsense, no overcomplicated marketing gimmick bullshit. Just the stuff that you really need to consider to get you 98% of the way there. And then at the end of the video, there's going to probably be a part or, numerous part video. It's going to be a long one. I'm going to go over the small percentages that you can then add at the end of this. This is going to get you the baseline. This is going to make sure there's no holes in your out of training factors. And then beyond that, if you want to add random fucking overcomplicated nonsense to add those little percentages up, that's fine. So just hold my hand, come hold my hand, and literally just go by all these steps to a T. Very easy, very adherable, bang for your buck things. You'll have incredible gains. You're going to be optimized in and outside of the gym. So let's get into it. First one is sleep. All right, sleep, the most important out of training factor. Like, yes, all of these are going to be important, but I'm going to go by order of importance, and sleep is up there. And people think they're getting good sleep. People think they're getting, they're getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep, and they think, wow, I'm getting good sleep. It's like, yeah, cool, you're getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep, but is that quality of sleep good? Are you getting deep, uninterrupted sleep? People think they're getting good sleep. Clients of mine think they're getting good sleep until I tell them to do some of these more easier to do aspects to improve their sleep. And all of a sudden they're like, never mind, I wasn't getting good sleep. I was getting maybe shit to average sleep, and now I'm getting incredible sleep. And the results go through the roof, their energy goes through the roof, their mental health goes through the roof. So I'm going to speed run through all these points because I have faith that you're intelligent enough to, take these in without me over explaining them. And first one is late night stimulants. Very simple concept, but people fuck this one up a lot, where you're drinking Red Bulls or V's or energy drinks or fucking coffees or methamphetamines before going to bed, and then you're expecting to get to sleep easily and stay asleep. Good luck. I get it, I like stimulants, but you really need to be making sure that if it's dark out, you're not consuming any stimulants or caffeine. Better rule of thumb really would be 6 to 8 hours before you're typically going to sleep, no caffeine. So have your coffee in the morning, have your coffee at midday. Once midday hits, time to stop consuming caffeine. This one could be a real deal breaker for whether or not you're gonna get good sleep, and it's a really easy one to adhere to. Just put your coffee or caffeine at the start of the day rather than spreading it out throughout the day like a weirdo. And it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You're drinking coffee late at night because you've gotten to this shitty habit of drinking coffee at night, which means you're tired throughout the day because you sleep shit. Whereas if you just stop drinking coffee, in the afternoon or at nighttime, all of a sudden you no longer need that coffee at night because you're getting good sleep. So consider no late night stimulants. Next one is late night heavy training. Don't go into the gym at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock and do heavy squats and deadlifts or any heavily stimulating, fatiguing, central nervous system heavy movements that are going to make your central nervous system all fucking ready to go, that are going to make you overly stimulated. You might be tired after sets of squats and deadlifts, but your central nervous system is going to be fired up. It's been ready to go, especially if you're doing 1 rep maxes. Try to put your training at the start of the day, and if it's work related, you have to train later at night for whatever reason, consider doing more isolation type movements and then leaving the compound training for the days that you can train in the day. Next one is loud and pissing. Don't have loud noises in your room. Don't have a computer fan or TV static or some lady next to you snoring or bloke next to you snoring or whatever. Just don't have noises in your room because it will interrupt your sleep. It will be harder to be in a deep sleep or get to sleep. Another stimulus is light. Don't have your computer light on or your monitor light on, or have light coming in through your blinds. Try to get blackout curtains. And then also, Don't drink a shit ton of water before bed and wake up pissing yourself, or wake up running to the toilet to piss, and you're getting up 2 to 3 times a night to piss. You're no longer having consistent, deep REM sleep. If you really need to drink a bunch of water before going to bed, consume some salt so it absorbs some of that water. But realistically, don't be, drinking a shit ton of water late at night. Get your water in throughout the day so that you piss it all out before you go to bed. So no light, no noise, no piss. Otherwise, you're pissing your gains away, or your recovery away. The next one is phone. Read a book, you cheeky cunt. So don't be sitting there, on your phone, going through Instagram Reels, watching a fucking Indian dude driving a semi-trailer, crashing into a family of 4 before you're trying to sleep. Like, you don't need that blue light. You don't need that stimulus. You don't need, like, crazy live leak videos going into your retina when you're trying to fucking go to bed. So instead, try reading a book. Good luck staying awake when you're reading a book, especially if it's like a boring philosophy book. Go read some like Friedrich Nietzsche or some, gay shit like that. You'll be sitting there reading going, wow, this is boring. I'm going to pass out now. And on top of that, you're not having like this light in your eyes, that blue light, which is, proven to keep you awake. So read a book. Maybe actually read a book that you like. If you're reading a book that you hate, you probably won't adhere to it. But I find when I read like some Nietzsche or some Plato or some shit, I get bored. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of bored now. I'm going to go to sleep. Side note, don't watch TV before going to bed. 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, try to be in a book or just meditating or chilling or whatever it is, but don't be looking at technology. Sure as shit, don't have a phone blaring into your eyes. Next is inconsistent sleep pattern. You should be going to bed about the same time every night. And this is easier said than done. We have shift work sometimes. Maybe you get up on the weekend and you want to be out and hanging out with your friends. But if you can, try to be going to bed about the same time every night. Otherwise, your biological clock is all over the place and you won't be starting to produce consistent melatonin around the time that your body thinks it needs to be going to sleep, because you're going to sleep all over the place. So get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time. It'll make it easier to just go to sleep when you're in a pattern of sleep, when your body knows when to go to sleep. Because you get up for work at like 8 o'clock in the morning, your body always knows to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Even on a weekend, you're like out drinking and doing drugs or whatever the fuck you degenerates do. And then you're like, holy shit, I only got 3 hours of sleep because my body intrinsically wanted to wake up at 8. Well, it also wants to do that with going to sleep, but a lot of people don't do that. It makes it easier to go to sleep when you're so used to going to the sleep at the same time. Now, enough of the doom and gloom. Now we're going to some positive things you can do. So the first one being hot, cold showers. This is a really easy band-aid fix if you have bad sleep. A lot of my clients, they'll say, fuck, I can't sleep. I don't know, whatever. I can't sleep for this reason, that reason. I say, all right, very well. Go get in a hot, cold shower before you go to bed. Not only is it going to increase your recovery from, reducing stress hormones like cortisol, helping with the inflammatory response so you can train more frequently, etc. Those, plus the increase of melatonin from that hot, cold shower and then auto-regulation of body temperature, makes it really fucking easy to go to sleep. This is the best one I've ever done. It's just simply get in a hot, cold shower and then try not to fall asleep. It's very difficult. They're incredible for just making you just sleepy and drowsy. And this one's not easiest to adhere to, so I would consider sort of progressively overloading this one. So start with a hot shower and then slowly over time make it cooler and cooler. And on a daily basis, try to make it colder and colder until eventually you sort of acclimatize and get used to it. And you can do freezing cold showers and then do boiling hot showers. So like 1 minute on, 1 minute off, do 5 rounds of that shit. And even if you're not having a freezing cold shower, just in that period where you're trying to adjust to the freezingness or the cold because you're a pussy, like I am, you'll still get better sleep just from hot, lukewarm or hot, coolish. And then when you get into that freezing tier, then you're like, fuck, man, I pass out in the shower. Next one, I kind of touched on it, but again, get blackout curtains, especially if you have to, get up later in the morning. Maybe you have, I don't know, late night shift or whatever, and you have to get up at like 10, 11, based off your biological clock and your working schedule. Then having blackout curtains can make a difference, because if you're, trying to get up at 10, but there's light shining into your fucking room at 6 in the morning, that's gonna wake you up naturally. Whereas if you've got that blackout curtain, then you can go off an alarm. Like if you are getting up at a reasonable time, but then you have like a really bright street, or you live in the city or something, there's light coming in at late at night, then yeah, blackout curtains could make it much easier to get to sleep. You don't want light in your room. They're not that expensive. It's an easy fix. Next one is supplementals. So melatonin, eclonia cava, magnesium, etc. Some of these things you don't want to go too overboard with, like melatonin. You want to find the minimum effective dosage, otherwise you become reliant. You want to take melatonin only when you really need it. Eclonia cava is a great one. That one helps significantly with sleep and a bunch of other factors, in and out of training. Magnesium, a lot of people are deficient in magnesium. If you have like restless leg syndrome, or you're just like kind of like very nervy, If you get some magnesium, do oral magnesium plus like topical magnesium, or maybe have a hot magnesium slash Epsom bath. That will help significantly too. And you can just stack all these different supplements, maybe get some fucking green tea or whatever. Take 10 different sleep helping supplements all of a sudden. Next one is exertion and later cardio. So consider that if you have an office job or you're a fucking loser and you just sit around playing video games all day, or whatever it is, you're just sitting down all day based off whatever life circumstances, it's going to be fucking hard to go to sleep. We've evolved for the last 100,000 plus years to be walking around all day. When I switched to personal training for a career choice versus, well, being a fucking neat loser, sitting down all day, I was super tired at the end of the day because I'm standing around 6 to 8 hours a day, talking to people, moving weight plates around and shit. I'm exerting myself. So I would get done with work. I'm like, fuck, I'm tired. I'm going to go to sleep. So consider trying to get more steps in, maybe changing your career path so you're getting a bit more physical exertion. Doing later cardio, do steady state cardio before bed. Not anything too heavy stimulus because it will, get your central nervous system fired up and then you won't want to go to sleep. But some, slow, steady state cardio, 30 to 45 minutes, and you're going to be a lot more ready for bed because you'll have exerted yourself. I don't think, some peasant farmer from the year 500 was going to bed on his straw mattress and going, oh man, I'm not tired. Hey, let me go on my Instagram reels and watch that Indian dude take out that family 4 again. No, I'm fucking tired. And even though I'm sitting in some like straw bed with leprosy and fucking gout on my foot, they probably didn't give a shit. They were tired as fuck after tilling the farm for 12 hours straight. So exert yourself and it'll be much easier to go to sleep. Last one is carbs before bed unless you are fat. If you're a fat fuck, do not do this one. But if you're bulking or you have a fast metabolism and you can get away with some extra carbs before going to sleep, put them there. Eat a high carb meal. Pasta, rice, bread, whatever. Get an insulin spike, get an insulin crash, get that lethargic response from a high carb meal. Put yourself into that food coma of sorts, and you're going to have an easier time going to sleep. Now, obviously, if you're fat, you're cutting weight, don't do this one. It's not worth it. If you stack all these other things I just said, you'll be fine anyway. And the reality is that's what you want to do here. All the things I've just gone over, stack them all up. Maybe you don't even have to stack all of them. Maybe you don't have the money for the supplements. Maybe you fucking lazy piece of shit and you can't do the exertion. But maybe you can do a hot, cold shower. Maybe you can do carbs before bed. Maybe you can cut out a few of the things that I just mentioned. And all of a sudden, your sleep improves drastically. You can get that like Ubermensch sleep or that, you'll be like, you'll meet the fucking, the DMT elves. You'll be so fucking tired and so fucking rested and you'll open your third eye. I don't fucking know. But if you stack all these things, you're going to sleep really good.